Here we go, spawning at the lower right, again as Purple Zerg, we have Machine, and in the upper left as Blue Protoss, we have WhiteRA. We are up to match number 5 between these two in this best of 5. Winner gets the first win for their respective group, Europe or America. So again, good luck, have fun to both players. Playing on a very interesting map choice here.
I have to agree. I like Jungle Basin. It's one of the newer maps added as well. But as you were pointing out before, it's very tough to decide where you want to take a third base. Zerg can have probably the most trouble with that. Protoss can defend it a little bit easier if they want to obviously just defend or wall off their front door and then start using, if you take the base on the right-hand side and use that as kind of your main entrance, the destructible rocks here can be taken out quite easily and opening up a path to your third base.
Indeed, just waiting to see what both of our players do here. We have our first pylon is already up. Nothing crazy yet. No, we're not going to see any 6 pools. Not today.
Thank God. After the first game was like 40 minutes long, these next ones haven't been quite as long, but they've been just as epic.
Same strategy used throughout by both players essentially the whole way through, but it's been basically more streamlined as we've gone along. I'm really anticipating that one of our two players here might do something kind of from out of left field to trick their opponent, just make their opponent have to try and play on their feet, play quickly. Because so far, both players have been doing the same basic build order the whole way through. Will either player this time around try and pull something that will totally confuse their opponent?
Confusion can be key in strategy games like this. Mind games are such a big effect. Not only just is physical harassment a big part of it, but the mind harassment as well. This drone is making his way up into WhiteRA's base, and of course that won't really be chased out until that first stalker comes out. Workers are of course faster than zealots, so there's really no point chrono boosting a zealot out unless you feel you're going to be getting some pressure. But that drone just promptly sees that there's nothing fishy goes on and retreats.
The one thing that Probe may have been able to spot, though, is that this time around, Machine finally went for a hatch before a pool. So we decided to get that second hatch significantly earlier, which is really important on this map. As we said, it's very hard for you to hold your third expansion on this map, so he wants to get that economy boost as early as he possibly can.
Absolutely. We may see some kind of two-base timing push from Machine if he wants to take this, or else he's going to be forced into a macro game where Zerg wants to be one base ahead of their opponent, and that's just a really tough thing to do on this map. Meanwhile, WhiteRA here putting up a pylon here just to protect his destructible rocks. I do like this. The 5th and final game of a show match series, defending your country, is you never want to die to something like getting your back door broken down.
Yep, he definitely wants to make sure that he'll be safe. We do have a single Overlord making his way straight towards those destructible rocks, so he'll spot that pylon.
Yeah, there's a second gateway coming up and nothing else right now. Warp gate technology is on the way and another stalker. The warp gates are being chrono boosted now. Do you think WhiteRA is going to go for some really early pressure?
You know, I wouldn't be surprised. I think he may want to try and take this one quick, take it clean, not give Machine the opportunity to get that economy up that he will need on this map in order to build up a strong enough army. I wouldn't be surprised to see WhiteRA try and take this out with one sudden right hook.
And a spine crawler is being constructed as that creep highway is already going towards the front of his base. He's going to want to defend that as best as possible, especially with this stalker and probe on their way. Is this probe going to be part of the attack, or is this probe going to build a pylon? And it looks like it's going to be a pylon here in the high ground. So WhiteRA wants to end this game as soon as possible. If he succeeds with this push, he will take the series. If he fails with this push, he'll be in a lot of trouble because Machine is going to be on 2 bases with a significant income boost. And this is going to be pretty much do or die for WhiteRA here and Europe.
Here we go. WhiteRA pushing in with these 2 stalkers. He's going to see that that spine crawler is already there at the front. Takes out 1 Zergling. Zerglings do not have metabolic boost yet. He's doing some nice damage to one of those stalkers. Only lost 1 Zergling, so a pretty good trade. But
Not bad, considering that stalker can regenerate his shields and come back to fight another day. A sentry being pushed into the fray as well. And wow, a ton of zealots. This is it. This is WhiteRA's go. He needs to get in here now. There's a ton of Zerglings here, but those Zealots are going to be able to force those away pretty quickly. With some nice force fields, he'll be in a good position. But if he waits for the second Spinecrawler to get up, he's not going to be successful.
Well, it looks like he's not going to wait, readying his forces, warping in another group of Zealots. This is going to be way too much to do with this early on for Machine. Machine's in deep trouble.
I think he is, and the Zergling's metabolic boost is kicked in, but it's just not going to be enough. Those Zerglings are taking too much damage. They need to pull back and let the Queen or the Spinecrawlers take the damage. No transfusion. That Spinecrawler goes down. The second one's not even going to get erected, and this is going to be it for Machine. I think Europe's going to take the first series of this tournament.
Lair Tech is complete, but I think it's all futile at this point. Roach Warren is about to complete, but it's going to take far too long for him to get a notable number of roaches out onto the field. This is way too large of a force here from WhiteRA. I think you're right. I think WhiteRA is going to take this first one for Europe.
5 Warp Gate timing push here by WhiteRA. This was a pretty much all-in build. There was no way that he was going to recover from this if it wasn't successful. 3 Spinecrawlers trying to be constructed, but that is not going to be there in time. Drones coming off the line to desperately try to protect this base, but the Spinecrawlers are just not going to be there in time. Too many Zealots dealing so much damage. Machine GG's, and Europe takes series number 1.
There you go. WhiteRA wins it there for Europe. There you go. The official score now up. WhiteRA takes it 3-2. This went the distance, but WhiteRA decided that final round that the reason he'd been losing his matches earlier is he was just giving Machine too much time. He made sure that did not happen this time around.
Absolutely. Machine got greedy and went for that fast hatch build, which makes you very susceptible to a 4 or 5 gate push like WhiteRA did. He took advantage of what he saw, and he played the game like it should be.
Just making sure. There we go. They're not seeing anything. So again, we are now going to be moving on to our next series of the day, everybody. This is going to be also our final series of the day, but that does by no means mean it's a worse series. We have Show facing off against TT1.
Absolutely. I'm going to take a quick second to go grab another drink. And
you go right ahead
viewers,
and
take a couple seconds as well if you need to refresh your